So nope, I was incorrect. We are starting on Lijiang. My mistake. That was just a little bit of a showing off the maps here. We're on Lijiang here, a control map instead. So it's all about catching control percentage here. So we've got Pharmacy on the side of Great Harbor, I believe. Also don't have the names, so give me 1 second. Yeah, we've got Pharmacy on the side of Grey Harbor, immediately taking 2 out with a boop. So that's a great start for Grey Harbor. They're taking point control early. The point will open in 5 seconds, so they're going to want to hold on to that space while they have it. We're running Sigma on this side as well. Sigma Reinhardt, an interesting comp. Double shield, always a strong comp when we're dealing with a lot of shield damage. We've got already an ult coming from Orblin here as well, and Pharah. Like, that's a lot of damage you have to be outputting. Before the point pretty much just opened up, by the way. They're only at 10%, and we've already got a barrage on the side of Great Harbor College here. So, already we're seeing quite a dominant display here from the Pharmacy. They're going to have to try to counteract that as soon as they can, either with a Pharmacy of their own, or with a McCree, or some kind of hit scan. Hit scan being damage that can be accurately put out into the sky against this Pharmacy, which is currently causing a lot of trouble for Eastern Illinois University. Grace Harbor at 38-point control. They've also got a Junkrat. So what we're seeing on the side of Grey Harbors here is a lot of what we call splash damage, meaning damage that isn't so pointed, but rather... and we're seeing here Orblin showing really how it's done as Pharah. They are trying to run Ash here on Eastern Illinois University, which is an example of hit scan, as I spoke about earlier. But as a good Pharah is meant to do, Orblin is doing a fantastic, Orblion is doing a fantastic job at getting in the face of that Ash and making it impossible for her to die. Seriously, this is a fantastic show of what a good Pharah is meant to do. Even though she's being countered, she's being shot at, she's doing a fantastic job at making sure they don't get anywhere near the point. We've got Grace Harbor College here with 79-80% already on point control. Eastern Illinois University is going to have to hope for something like that. Orblion going down, Crunchy Leaf coming in with a resurrection right away, and the beat on the side of Grace Harbor College as well. Eastern Illinois University have less than 8 seconds to get onto this point. They're going to have to hope that they can get some ults in here as well. So we've got Echo ult coming on the side of Eastern Illinois, going down almost immediately. Another barrage on the side of Grace Harbor College, and we've got Ghost swinging away at that Moira. Eastern Illinois University getting no point control, and Grace Harbor College taking the first map 100-0. So that was a a masterclass, one might say, in how to play Pharmacy on a point like that. There's a lot of open sky on that map, which is less the case here on this map. So Pharmacy might not work as well on this map as it did before, but we did see Orblion is clearly an incredible Pharah. Did a great job at shutting down the hit scan on the side of Illinois. Didn't really, I mean, I do have to give props. The Illinois hit scan did get them once or twice, but of course that's the beauty of running Pharmacy. You have the resurrection going in as well. So overall, it'll be interesting to see, however, if they can get as much work done here on Pharmacy as they did in the last game. We've also got Junkrat here, who's pretty strong in this point as well. But overall, Grace Harbor College is a seemingly well-oiled machine. We'll see Orblion already taking out the Genji on the Illinois side. An early pick going off here, definitely not how they wanted to start. Already on the McCree, taking them out as well, so that's both DPS out on the side of Eastern Illinois. They've already got the space onto the point, taking control of it as well. We see kind of an interesting comp here on the side of Eastern Illinois. I'm seeing a Winston Diva as well as a Brig, so an interesting kind of dive comp with a very brawly healer, so I don't know if that's going to work so well for them, but they did lose both healers right now on the side of Grace Harbor College, and the point has still not been taken, and with that, it looks like Eastern Illinois will be capping the point, already starts the count up to 100. For those who don't know, you just have to cap the point to 100 and have point control for those 100 seconds. So now they're waiting for their people from the spawn. We've got Orb Lion on the outskirts, looking for a cheeky pick, hopefully on their huge shatter on the side of Grays Harbor College there. Farah capitalizing rather well on that as well. We've got Ayatsuru with a ult on the way as well. And Winston doing a great job at diving the backline as well. However, it seems the damage is too much for them on there. And Orbline cleaning up the point with a final barrage. He's getting them like those are their abilities, I swear, instead of their ultimate. And again, for those who also don't know, Overwatch is a game a lot as well of ultimates. So ultimates are things you build up by doing damage or by healing. And the Orb Line is doing so much damage right now with the help of Crunchy Leaf that they just seem to be getting their ultimate like it's on a cooldown. You got Genji ult coming on the side of Eastern Illinois University here, not getting anybody. Diva doing a fantastic job at diving Orb, and sometimes that's what you just need to do against the Pharah. Not kill them, but just basically be on them all the time so that they can't be as effective. Got Creole on the side of Eastern Illinois taking out Orb Line. Ghost, however, taking out 2 Crunchy Leaf, coming in with that res. So that will not be doing as much as they would hope. Pepsi Cola doing a great job at keeping the space on the side of Grays Harbor College. And they're quickly coming to a 50%. So Eastern Illinois University is going to have to start thinking about changing some things up here. Maybe getting another hit scan, switching off of that Genji, maybe to a Soldier Ash, Kree Ash, any combination like that is going to help them here, because it really just does seem that they're having a lot of trouble handling that amount of splash damage and just handling that far. We're seeing them on Hanzo now. Hanzo is a pretty solid pick. We've got Diva coming in, taking out both tanks, so they're going to lose a lot of their ability to take space here with those 2 tanks going down. Crunchy Leaf, or Ayatu are probably going to be going for a cheeky little tire here from above, taking out their Mercy, so both Mercies down. We've only got off heals left. Moira, Greg, I believe, on the side of Eastern Illinois University. Crete on Eastern Illinois University taking out both Mr. That's quite a mouthful. I don't think I'll be able to say that. But slowly coming up to 90% to 48% now on the side of Eastern Illinois. So they're looking better than their first game. First game being first map being 99 to 0%. Not a great look for Eastern Illinois. However, we're seeing a 90 to about 60% here. So they're at least getting some point control. Orb Lion again with another barrage. Really just keeps getting them so quickly. Doing a practically uncontested. Most likely we'll be looking for a barrage here. Takes out 1, which is honestly more than you can ask for, as barrage does put a Pharah in a very vulnerable situation. So if you can even just get 1 pick and not die with it, that's honestly a great barrage. We're seeing Beat coming out to kind of help Grays Harbor come in and take some space. Very good use of that. It's not always has to be used in a defensive way. It can also be used offensively to kind of try to make space the way that they're doing. Alright, I can't. Yeah. No longer can see the game, but by the sound of it, sounds like it's going great. We're seeing picks on the side of Grays Harbor College as well. Ghost taking out Mercy. Seems like they switched off that Reinhardt, running the Sigma Zarya now. And it's 99% to 93. Eastern Illinois are really just going to want to even try to touch, but they only have 3 seconds, so the likelihood is very low. And we're seeing first game going Grays Harbor College way. Grays Harbor College's way. Sorry, that's a mouthful. Going the Choker's way. However, I do want to commend the Panthers, especially on their second map there. It was a lot closer. Any 99 to 99 is amazing. But here we've got Orb Lion on the far. Really kind of a masterclass in how to use a Pharah efficiently. Just really did which is super important, which we're seeing right here. So honestly, I can't see the full comps, unfortunately, but I'm picking up from what I can see. We're seeing Ayatsuru again on that Junkrat. So this is a team that seems to like running a lot of splash damage, which is actually really effective. I think a way that the Panthers could kind of counter that, and I'm not sure if they ran it before, but it is running a Zarya. Zarya kind of feeds on uncontrolled damage. If you don't know Zarya's abilities, Zarya basically has a bubble that she can put on herself and her teammates that absorbs damage from the other team and gives her higher damage output. So if they're running a lot of splash damage like Junkrat, that is something they could try to run. We're seeing Mei here on defense on the side of Grace Harbor, which is always a great pick. You can wall people off as they come in, and then they're vulnerable and unable to fight back. So not a surprise. I'm seeing, I believe, Diva Winston on the side of the Panthers over here on Eastern Illinois University side. They seem to be running dive quite often, which can be good against what Grace Harbor is running right now. We've got Pepsi Cola already taking out their Mercy, though, so it's not looking good for them. Both healers down on the side of Eastern Illinois University, so it's not a good start. I'm hearing Doomfist as well, and I don't think I saw it on the side of Grace Harbor, so I do believe Doomfist is on the side of the Panthers. Not a bad pick, however, Doomfist thrives when healers like Zenyatta and Anna are played on the enemy team, and I'm seeing Lucio Mercy, so there's not really a ton of squishies that Doomfist can take out, but it is something that can work if that player is comfortable on it. So Mei's Orbline on Mei is really going to have to focus down that Doomfist. Diva taking out Lucio, probably going to be resurrected if they can by Crunchy Leaf. We see Ayatura on Junkrat going down as well. And we're seeing the picks seem to be going mostly in favor of Grace Harbor College right now due to that Valk that Crunchy Leaf has just used. Basically, that allows for a higher healing and damage output from the team. Orbline coming out with Mei ult pretty quickly, taking out Lucio on the side of Eastern Illinois University, taking out the Mercy. Doomfist, however, taking out Mei as well on the side of Grace Harbor College. This is looking like a pretty close fight. It looks like it could go either way here. Ghost managing to remag. Pepsi Cola going down, however. To Guillermo, we see Pepsi Cola out, Ghost going down, but taking down Winston as well. So again, this is looking like a close fight. It looks like Grace Harbor College is going back in for the recontest. They've lost about a tick and a half. We see Diva ult on the side of the Panthers, taking out two. Great Diva bomb there. Very impressive. Good way to clear the point. Even if they didn't get anybody, they got about a little bit more point percentage, which is really important. We got two picks on the side of Eastern Illinois University, and it looks like Grace Harbor will be losing this point. 4 minutes now for Eastern Illinois University to push the payload to the end. So they've got quite a bit. That's a pretty quick cap on a point like Kings Row. For those who don't know, by the way, this is a hybrid map, meaning there is a defense point that they need to capture, which is what they've just done, the Panthers, and now they have to push the payload just like an escort map until the end, and then Grace Harbor will do that as well. So we're seeing Ghost on Wrecking Ball. I'm not sure if that was to try to recontest or if that's what they're running for their tank lineup. Ryan Wrecking Ball, not something that I personally would run. We've got a dive tank with a kind of more brawly tank. It can work with good good communication, which it seems Grace Harbor College has. We're seeing Farah being run on the side of the Panthers. I didn't even get the chance to see that, and they already have their barrage, taking out 3, so clearly doing a good job on that Farah. And so as anticipated, that pharmacy is quite strong, especially considering the fact that Grace Harbor right now isn't really running anything to kind of combat that. They don't have hit scan, and they aren't running a FAR of their own. So it'll be interesting to see how Grace Harbor kind of combats that, because right now they are having trouble recontesting the point, and that's not great because Eastern Illinois University is going to have a few minutes to take the last point, which is not something you want. They have 4 minutes again. That's a lot of time to push it a rather short amount of distance, so they really need to consider changing it up right now because they have a Mei and a Junkrat, neither of which can very consistently shoot at the Farah. Mei coming out on the side of Grace Harbor, getting the Lucio and getting the Diva, but not able to take anybody else out. We've got Junkrat Tire coming out as well, not getting anybody, but they're starting to take some space back, which is exactly what they want here. Farah taking out Junkrat again. Junkrat is directly countered by Farah. He quite literally cannot shoot at her because his grenades are on an arc and she'll be flying up in the sky. Farah coming out again with another triple barrage. So we saw some great Farah on the side of Grace Harbor College last game, and now we're seeing them kind of get their revenge and saying, look at us, we can play Pharmacy too, and we'll do it better than you will. So we're seeing that Mercury, we're seeing that Soldier. They're quickly making switches to try to slow them down at least a little bit. So Ayatsuru now on that soldier. I believe I also saw on the Kree, we got Orbline on the Kree, so they're running, I guess what would be a triple DPS. Diva Bomb taking out 2 on the side of Grace Harbor, and it's not looking good for them with only Mercy Reinhardt to contest the point right now and take space. Pepsi Cola staying up due to those Mercy heals, but it's not looking too great right now. They're kind of just desperately trying to touch the point to take as much time off that clock as they can. It's looking like they're going to lose that point pretty quickly, though. Echo taking out both DPS quite quickly as well. We've got a lot of aerial DPS on the side of Eastern Illinois University right now, and it seems Grace Harbor is having a little trouble dealing with it, just because they're mostly, at this point, trying to touch the point. They're doing well, already shaving off about 30 seconds off the clock. That's kind of what you want to just do on this last point if you're having trouble, is just shave time off the clock. The best case scenario is to get them at least into overtime here. Oh, big boop on the side. I thought that was Winston, but it looks like that was Far again. Big boop there on the side there, because May is a great kind of contest character. She can, you know, be in her little cube and contest the point. But they're doing a fantastic job at whittling down that clock as much as they can. I mean, they came in with 4 minutes. They're now only at 1:40 and now 1:39. Eastern Illinois University with 1:39 and pushing it all the way to the end. We saw something that happens quite often in Overwatch here. You know, sometimes you lose that first point. If you're not able to kind of group up and recontest the point comfortably, you can kind of end up getting snowballed the way they did. However, they did have a great recontest time at the end, at least shaving off a minute off of that time. They came in with about 2 minutes and 37 seconds, I believe. They're at 1:39 now. So what Grace Harbor College needs to do now is try to cap the point with at least a minute, and, you know, try to have, if not more, they definitely want more time, of course, to cap it. So I'm interested to see what they play here, because I think Illinois showed us that they could also run a really good pharmacy as well. So I'm thinking that's probably what Grace Harbor is going to pull out. But other than that, that was a great show on the side of Illinois University. Not to say that Grace Harbor didn't do a good job defending. I think that's 1:30 is really not that much time. And that means they held them pretty decently. They got a few recontests on the escort side, and mostly they had a really good defense on the first side. So, yeah, and we are not seeing the pharmacy Echo Mercy, which is kind of like pharmacy light. Maybe a similar amount of damage, a little bit less splash damage, but a little bit more mobility. And I personally think Echo's ult is stronger as well, so it's not a bad point. Well, immediately Orbline taking out May on this side of Illinois University. Crunchyleaf coming in with that res to bring him back, and now they're pushing in 6-5. So it's looking pretty good already for Grace Harbor here. They just need to capitalize on that pick. Big nade from Xancities. Ayatsuru going down, but taking out the Mercy with him, so that's a pretty good start. We're seeing Shatter from not from Pepsi Cola, we're seeing Shatter from the Panthers already, so great Reinhardt play there. As well, Crunchyleaf also taking out the Ryan on their side as well. So it's looking like the fight is going in the favor of Eastern Illinois University. A huge shatter there. I don't think that Grace Harbor was expecting it. Neither was I, honestly, because the game literally just started. Who was their Reinhardt swinging at? I don't know, but the guy has shattered pretty quickly, pretty impressively. So, not a bad start for Grace Harbor though. An early pick from Orbline. They just weren't able to capitalize on it. I think the tank play from Illinois kind of counteracted that pick there. But Orbline putting in a good amount of pressure. Need to take out wall there. I don't think they got anybody with that wall. Orbline pressuring the Reinhardt on the right, who did end up taking out Pepsi Cola. I think Pepsi Cola got walled off, which is kind of the strategy that you run with May there. Getting the res on Pepsi Cola, though. Crunchyleaf has had some kind of nutty reses today. I have to say, I've got to call it out. They've had some pretty bold and aggressive reses, which are really important. Orbline will go down, however, to the Panthers' Ash. Big sleep there on the Ryan from our Grace Harbor Anna. May ult coming out as well, though. This is a fantastic defense on Eastern Illinois' part, I have to say. Maybe they're more of like a kind of defense escort map type. I think almost every team has maps that they're more comfortable with, so it could just be that control wasn't their thing, because they're showing a rather impressive display of Overwatch skill right now. But Grace Harbor still coming in. We've got McCree ult coming up now, probably Shatter as well from Pepsi Cola. And we've got Nano on the side of Grace Harbor College. I'm hearing a Genji as well, probably coming from Eastern Illinois University. Pepsi Cola and Ghost coming down early, so they're going to have to back up here. Grace Harbor cannot win this fight. It's very unlikely for someone to win a fight with two of their tanks down. Ayatsuru really needs to not get picked here, so it's good that his tanks are coming out. I got a little worried there. Oh, and at spawn with 17 HP. That would have been not very great to fall right at the feet of your enemies right outside your own door. So good job backing up there from Ayatsuru. We see a lot of ults on the side of Grace Harbor College. They're going to have to use them intelligently here. They only really have maybe 1 or 2 fights if they're lucky. So they're hoping for they have to pretty much win this fight if they want to take this point. If not, they will be losing this game to Eastern Illinois University. So we've got Graf coming out on the side of Grace Harbor. Genji ult as well. Overline taking out their Kree. Ayatsuru taking out Genji as well with the help of Pepsi Cola and a sneaky little Shatter. Pepsi Cola taking out 2 as well with that Shatter, so it looks like they really just held ult. Taking some of that percentage point. Reinhardt caught out here at their spawn. It's looking like Grace Harbor College will be taking the point with just a few seconds left on the clock. If even that, however, Eastern Illinois University coming in with Genji, Bob, with all of these ults, taking out Pepsi Cola, McCree. Wow, what an ult! What an ult from Ash. Bob and Dynamite coming in, taking out those tanks. Wow, okay, Eastern Illinois University taking the second map. Play of the game going to Swix? I'm gonna go with Swix. That's a name. So Eastern Illinois really just said, listen, we can run pharmacy. It's nice to see a little bit of dive. Also, Pepsi Cola, a fantastic Rhine and Sigma as well. To be able to play both at such a high level is really impressive, personally, I like to say, because I can barely play either one of them. So, yeah, very impressive tank play from both sides there. We saw some pretty nutty shatters as well on the side of the Panthers as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and
just,
hopefully we can see more clutch ult with Crunchy Leaf, like you said. He had some really good ones, especially when we were defending at the very end. He had some really great ults to save the situation, but hopefully this time it's more of an aggressive approach like we did on the second game of the second round.
Yeah, exactly. I think that that aggression... Oh, Ghost is going to want to immediately switch off. Before I say anything else, Ghost needs to switch off. Ball is very much countered by CC, which is... and of course, now I can't remember what CC is. I know, you know, crowd control. There we go. CC is crowd control, any kind of stunning. So like shield bash, maze, freeze. Ball gets very much countered by that. So they're kind of running both of like some of the most CC heavy characters. So that they're gonna have to consider a switch here. But hey, they're trying it again. Hey, listen, it's worth a try. Okay, I'm sorry. That was like quintessential Overwatch. Frozen, shield bashed, pinned, and then slept. All indications of, hey, I probably shouldn't be playing Wrecking Ball right now. But listen, if they can make it work, they can make it work. But I have to say, I personally, if I was in a comp game with Ghost right now, I would very kindly and sweetly tell them that perhaps this is something they might want to reconsider. But we'll see. You know, sometimes people can find a way to make it work. Either way, we're seeing Ayatsuru on that Junkrat again. Already has a tire. Orb Lion on that pharmacy, so they must have just switched off because they just got barrage. Or sorry, just has basically no ult charge, so they must have just switched on to the pharmacy soon. Okay, this isn't working. We tried something different. Let's just go back to our old faithful. Let's get pharmacy on the game. Velskaya, a pretty decent map for a Pharah, at least the first point. So we're seeing Orbline. They're gonna probably focus Orbline pretty well. They've got a Kree on their side, so it wouldn't surprise me if that Kree's entire existence is all about getting Orbline out of the sky. Orbline taking out the Ana on the side of oh gosh, okay. We've got a lot of ults coming all at once, so let me go ahead and call these out as I see them. So we've got picks on both sides, but it's looking like it's leaning more towards Grace Harbor College right now. Shatter coming out on the side of the Panthers, but not really getting anybody. Just getting Junkrat, but I don't think it'll be enough. We've got Orbline kind of diving onto this Mei here. Crunchy Leaf coming in to save their Pharah with a little bit of battle mercy, as we like to call it. And Grace Harbor, in a kind of a little bit of a messy fight, will be taking the point. But at the end of the day, that's the beauty of Overwatch. Doesn't matter how messy the fight is, as long as you cap the point, which is exactly what happens. So they'll be happy with that. Capping that point with 4 minutes is great, because that second point can be notoriously difficult to cap, considering how close the enemy spawn is. So they'll really be hoping for the best here. We got a few ults on the side of Grace Harbor College, and Ghost is hacked now. They're running Sombra now as well. Just another counter for Wrecking Ball. Barrage Orbline coming out, wow. Combining that with Sigma's Grab. A great combo there. We're seeing Zarya, Nano boosted Zarya on the point. I don't think that they have much charge though, so they won't be able to get much damage from that. Going down to Ghost's mine, and Ghost is saying, see, I didn't need to switch. You were wrong. They made it work, and sometimes that can be really impressive. Orbline getting hacked by the Sombra. Sombra, a pretty decent counter to both Ball and Pharah, so I have to commend Eastern Illinois here on their choices, and also a great contest character as well. So Eastern Illinois is making the right choices. They just have to win the fight now, and they'll just be going now for the kind of contest. As you do on this map, there's a point where you realize you're probably going to lose the fight, so you're just trying to whittle down the clock. But wow, I have to say, this kind of splash damage DPS duo that Grace Harbor College has is very well played. And I have to give props to Crunchy Leaf as well for damage boosting both of those. Junkrat and Pharah have some of the highest damage output in the game, especially when they're damage boosted, so it's a good combo, but not one that's always easy to run. Another barrage from Orbline, taking out 2.
Oh my gosh.
And not going down themselves. That's half the battle with Pharah Barrage, is just not dying yourself. Big Shatter coming down on the side of the Panthers, not taking anybody out, but a valiant effort and contesting the point. I mean, they came in with almost 4 minutes, and they're already down to 2. That's kind of how this map works, especially on the second point, is you can come in and win the first fight, but ultimately enemy spawn is not even 2 meters away, so they're just going to be coming in trying to whittle down that clock the best that they can. Doomfist did take out Pepsi Cola in the battle, but here we go. We are Grace Harbor College taking both points with 1:50 on the clock. It just didn't seem like the Panthers were able to kind of get a strong foothold on that second defense. And so majority of that was just kind of them tossing players on the point, just trying to kind of whittle down that clock from the 4 minutes that they came in with to 1:50, which is not bad at all. So that was a very strong offense on the side of Grace Harbor. Very impressive, I have to say. You know, we saw that pharmacy again, and as I said, their splash damage duo is just one of the best I've seen in a long time. If Pharah is not the one raining, you know, missiles down on you, you've got Junkrat grenades coming at you, and that's a lot to handle, especially on such a tight point. So it's a great choice of DPS on offense and on defense. We're seeing it on defense. Pharmacy not often seen on defense, but it really it seems to be working for them, and they're probably thinking, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're going to keep running that pharmacy, and Panthers are going to have to start thinking, okay, how do we make this work? Also, I'd like to say sorry to Ghost for telling you to switch off of Ball. You made it work. Okay, you made it work. I might have to believe a little more, but not running Ball here. Sigma Diva here, so a lot of ability to capture and catch damage here. I personally really like Sigma Diva together. Pharmacy on the side of the Panthers as well, coming in aggressively. Pepsi Cola doing a good job at keeping some space, but Sand Cities goes down pretty early, so they're running one healer right now. Ayatsu are also going down. Ghost taking out the Kree on the side of the Panthers. Crunchy Leaf managing to res that Junkrat as well. But we're seeing Eastern Illinois coming really aggressively, especially their Reinhardt. Just kind of walked in and said, "This is my point, and I'm taking it," and is doing a fantastic job at that as well. Orb Lion taking out their Mercy though, maybe taking out their Pharah as well. Oh no, that's the beauty of a pharmacy versus a pharmacy though. That's the beauty, is that they're both in the sky, and usually those 2v2s are really impressive. So a great job on Eastern Illinois University there of using pharmacy against their against Grays Harbor's very strong pharmacy as well. We're seeing Grays Harbor throwing people at the point, kind of trying to slow down that cap, but it seems like Eastern Illinois University will take that point just as quickly, if not even quicker than Grays Harbor College. So right now, what Grays Harbor College needs to do is just pull back, get everybody, respawn, and try to just contest that second point better. Ayatsuru switching onto that soldier immediately, going to have to deal with that pharmacy. A great pick there. Junkrat again, very heavily countered by pharmacies, so I'm happy that they're making that switch. Very important. Ryan's going to be coming on a shatter here, so they really need to be careful. And there it is, huge block. Oh my god, huge block over here. That was impressive, especially considering Sigma's shield. However, we do see the Pharah barrage on the side of Eastern Illinois University taking out 3. And Guido says, listen, you've got strong pharmacies on both sides. I don't even think they'll be able to touch point here. That was incredibly... Okay, so I know how this is going to look. They lost the point in 2 seconds, I do have to commend Pepsi Cola on blocking a shatter as Sigma. That is not the easiest feat to pull off. Sigma's shield is not as easy as Reinhardt's is to put up. So he must have really kind of seen that coming. That was an impressive block. However, an even more impressive barrage on the side of the Panthers, taking out 3 and then taking out a 4th with the rocket. At that point, you lost 4. They're already capping point. There's not much you can do. So we're looking at a pretty big disparity between both of the time on the clock there. We got 1:50 for Grays Harbor College, 4 minutes and 50, nearly 5 minutes for the side of the Panthers. So the Panthers are probably feeling pretty good right now. And Grays Harbor is just going to have to be incredibly aggressive from the beginning. So I'm guessing they'll run that pharmacy again. Maybe we'll see the ball again. Ball is not a bad idea in this regard, considering how little time they have. But I'm interested to see what they run.
For sure. And just to capitalize on Eastern Illinois' play, just seeing that Pharah barrage was actually insane. I couldn't believe that landed it on 3 people, and just in that little corner. Man, that was such a good play to watch.
Yeah, no, fantastic pharmacy play from both sides. I feel like this is going to be kind of the theme for the night, is whose pharmacy is better. But that's not to take away from the amazing tank and healing play we're seeing from both sides. I just have to say Pepsi Cola on that Sigma, as I said earlier. It's not always easy to run a Sigma into a Reinhardt. You lose a lot of that kind of aggression and that ability to block shatters, but Pepsi Cola showed that it's very possible to do on Sigma as well. We see Pharah going down rather early. Crunchy Leaf having to use that res a little bit earlier than they might have wanted to. Ooh, Orb Line taking out the Kree with a boop there into the water, so no res is available here for that on the side of Panthers. Ghost taking out Mercy as well on the side of the Grays Harbor College, but we're seeing Ash as well, taking out a few. Orbline taking out Reinhardt as well. We're seeing picks on both sides. Orbline is a very aggressive Pharah, which can be a blessing and a curse, and I don't think they'll be able to take out the BAF there. So right now, I think Pharmacy needs to get out of there, and McCree made it happen for them. A bit of a questionable res on the side of Crunchy Leaf, I have to say. Right now, what they really wanted was for that Reinhardt to be able to get out, and I'm not sure... they managed to pull him out and reset. Now Eastern Illinois University putting out an early grab, early Baptiste ult, taking out everybody. Grays Harbor College right now is probably going to want to be switching to some fast heroes to be able to touch the point. They only have 15 seconds and they pretty much just lost their entire team. Orb Line most likely will be kind of their last hope, but they've been spotted, so the likelihood of them taking this point is gone. Never mind. I was gonna say
No,
slim,
now.
but it's pretty much gone. I don't think they'll be able to touch the point. So for those who are new to the game, basically what happens now is everybody's worst nightmare. Every Overwatch player's worst nightmare. The enemy team has almost 5 minutes to cap a singular tick on their defense point. So right now, Grace Harbor needs to think, okay, are we going to pull some kind of cheesy comp out? Cheesy would be Bastion, Symmetra. Symmetra having a teleporter that can teleport their teammates back and forth between the spawn. Bastion, just a lot of shield and a lot of damage output. So some kind of a popular pick for when you know the enemy team has a lot of time. And there it is, the Symmetra on the side of Grace Harbor. So that's definitely kind of a desperation pick. I'm not gonna lie, and not to mention the Bastion. So not only did they pick one of the two characters, like I promise, I'm not in their ear. I'm not telling them what to play. It's just common Overwatch strats. When you know that you're most likely going to lose that first point, you want to run a high damage output team with also an ability to teleport back and forth between spawn. And we're seeing double shield to make sure that Bastion is not going to go down. And it can work, but most likely, the Panthers are going to see that and be like, all right, Bastion, Symmetra, let's just switch to all their counters and go to the point. But hey, you never know. We'll see how this goes for them. They're probably immediately going to spot the Bastion here. They are running Echo Pharah, which is not a bad idea against this kind of comp. But they do need to take point control. Again, they only have to get a tick here, but we're seeing that high damage output. Bastion basically melting the enemy team, but getting dove really well by their Echo Mercy, and not really able to do anything here, but that's where the Symmetra comes in. She's super charged right now off of Reinhardt's shield, so putting out a lot of damage as well. Symmetra gets charged basically from doing damage to shields and other heroes, so what we're seeing, when that Bastion kind of can't set up and do all that damage, then that Symmetra is right there behind you, melting you while you're trying to deal with both of them. So great play there. They're going to just set back up, but here's the issue. The Panthers still have 4 minutes. That was only a minute of time. So they're going to have to kind of hope that they can do that for 4 minutes. Most likely, Eastern Illinois will run something that can quickly just go to point. Seeing Pepsi Cola taking out the Genji on the Panther side immediately. D.Va doing a good job at diving Bastion as well, but not much you can do when they just have that much damage. If I was Eastern Illinois University right now, there's... Ooh. Okay. Alright, I was about to say an interesting ult, because they already had a feed down. Using a Valkyrie pretty aggressively there, but Valkyrie builds up really quickly, so it's not too surprising. They're putting up a pretty good fight right now, Grace Harbor College. They've got a few ults online, but the problem is so will Eastern Illinois University soon, and most likely what they'll do is just build up ults and come in and use a good bit of them and see if that will kind of unseat this terrible turd of death on the point. We got Bap ult coming out. If you thought Bastion did a lot of damage before, just wait until you see this. This is Bastion damage boosted pretty much by double. Keeping an eye out for any diving heroes. They're rotating very well. Bastion going down, that's your worst nightmare. But Crunchy Leaf bringing them right back. Ghost taking out the Junkrat on the Panthers team. Ult coming out here on the side of Grace Harbor College. Getting a few picks, but Eastern Illinois University taking out 2, taking out 3, starting to get a few. We're seeing a very charged Symmetra, however, so maybe that'll be their saving grace here. But there's what I was talking about, hey, let's just hold all our ults and then walk in and press Q. Which sounds very easy, but hey, you have to build them up, you have to use them correctly, and I have to say Eastern Illinois University did a great job there. However, I will also say Grace Harbor, that was a great defense. They held the point for almost, or over 2 minutes if I'm not incorrect. So great job. Guido Mista as well here with play of the game on the Cree. A great job. I mean, Guido had to deal with a formidable pharmacy, so props to them. That was a great team play there. A huge grab from the Zarya. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping we see, more more flexible comps here rather than a Bastion Symmetra. Bastion Symmetra being very kind of stagnant comp, a comp that doesn't move easily, but it's a great comp to use on defense, which is why we're seeing them running it again here. It's honestly not a bad idea on this map, which Horizon. No, this is not Horizon Lunar Colony. I'm gonna remember the name of the map very quickly, I promise. I know it's not like I play this game. I literally have almost 2,000 hours on this game. We've got. It's an escort map. That's all we need to know.
Or no?
This is, yes, it is. Thank you. There we go. Watch Point Gibraltar. So we're seeing Ayatsuru back on the Bastion. Orb Line now taking Ayatsuru's Junkrat. And we're seeing that working right off the bat. But I have to say that's pretty common for Junkrat to work right off the bat, or for Bastion to work right off the bat. You know, especially when you don't expect it. That's when Bastion is at his strongest. So we're seeing a good start to Grey Harbor's defense here on this escort map. We're seeing Eastern Illinois University going to the Genji pick, which is always a pretty common pick against Bastion due to his deflectability, which basically allows him to deflect back a lot of that damage Bastion can put out. Orbline taking out the Genji quite early on, though. Genji taking out their Mercy. Mercy is not the one you want to see go down that early on. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of healing output going out, as well as their res. So Crunchy Leaf, they're gonna have to kind of force a regroup here. Tepple on that Winston, putting in a lot of work, getting those last few picks that they needed. So they're gonna have to do a full reset here and try not to trickle in one at a time. And now they know that there's a Bastion, so they're gonna be looking for that Bastion, and they'll focus it down really well. Genji Deflect going down rather early on, though. They're not gonna be able to set up here. They're gonna have to think about just going on low ground here, because they know where they're coming. Once you know where they're coming, it's pretty obvious thing. Guido coming in with Genji ult here, taking out both healers, and Orb Line taking out 2 as well on the side of Grey's Harbor, though. So this is looking like a pretty close fight here. Ayatsuru taking out the final Eastern Illinois University and holding the point with 0.50 meters left. I'm sure Eastern Illinois University is pulling their hair out right now. That is extremely close to that checkpoint, but they will not be getting in. A great hold there from Grey's Harbor College. I thought it was out the minute Genji got both healers, but great DPS work and tank work on the side of Grey's Harbor. Good hold. Ghost taking out Temple early on. We got Echo ult probably coming up soon as well. Orbline coming out, diving, trying to get that high ground back from Eastern Illinois University. And we've got Ayatsuru bashing it up on the point, being protected by his team and doing what Bastions need to do and shooting at people. So he's got his ult. We've got a few ults coming in here. I'm expecting to see back ult coming out soon to amplify some of that damage that they have. Winston on the point here on the side of Eastern Illinois University. Immortality going out on both sides, so they won't be having that for the next 30 seconds. We're seeing Echo copying Sigma, not getting much from that. Seeing a lot of ults from both sides, but Grey's Harbor seems to be holding on pretty well. Genji ult again, taking out one, taking out a few, but it's not enough for them to take the point. Diva ult, Cider Eastern Illinois University, not taking anybody out. It's a pretty close fight right now. Not sure who it's going to go over to. Echo getting 2 picks on the side of Eastern Illinois, though. Orbline taking out Mr. Schmello Dude. Great name, by the way. Orbline as well, taking out a few. It looks like for the moment Grey's Harbor is holding on, but just barely. They're going to have to make sure they don't get off that point with how close it is. And Eastern Illinois, only 30 seconds, so they need to win this fight, or they need to group up and come in for a last fight. Orb Lion taken out too, showing, hey, I can not only play Pharah, but I can play Junkrat as well. Fantastic Junkrat play there. Pepsi Cola on that Orisa taking out the last Diva. So Eastern Illinois here might have wanted to kind of give up the fight a little bit earlier, group up and push in for a final fight. They're going to have a messy last final fight with Orb Lion sitting on a tire and taking out their Mercy early on. It is not looking good for them right now. Baptista coming out early, you're amplifying that Bastion damage. I'm guessing we'll see a tire here from Ayatsuru taking out 2. And it's looking like a lost fight for Eastern Illinois University. Bastion taking out that last Diva with a flourish. So Grey's Harbor College will be holding first point on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now, this is not an impossible feat, But it's not an easy one to pull off, especially with how close they got to pushing it just on their first or second push. So great defense there from Grace Harbor College, showing that Bastion is not only a meme pick, but also a pretty good pick on defense if the enemy team doesn't deal with it quite right. They were playing the right heroes. I think Genji, Echo, those are pretty decent heroes to play against a Bastion like that. But it just didn't seem like they were coordinating their dives well enough where if it was working. You know, the Genji was getting 2 picks, but on the enemy side, Grace Harbor was getting 2 or 3 picks. And that's the thing a lot of DPS players will get upset with is they'll say, hey, I killed 3. It doesn't matter if 3 go down on the enemy team if there's nobody alive on your team to capture the point. And that's kind of, I think, what happens sometimes is while, you know, Guido and that Genji was getting 2 or 3 picks with this ult, the rest of the team was dying to the Bastion. And that's where you can find yourself in that situation of barely getting the point, but just not getting it quite because of that. So we'll see what Illinois is going to run here on defense. We'll be discovering it together. It seems. So seeing Ayatsuru on that McCree for the first time tonight, I see, and Orbline back on that pharmacy with Crunchy Leaf on Mercy. Ghost on Ball has shown that Ghost can play Ball rather well, especially into a team full of Ball's counters. So we'll see a Ghost here giving it a good go. We're seeing Ryan Zarya on the side of Eastern Illinois University, a common tank combo. We're seeing Cree on the side of Eastern Illinois University as well, and Pepsi Cola back on that Sigma here, a formidable Sigma player. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a good go at this. All right, we got Orb Lion doing what Pharas do, all up in their business and getting shot down from the sky by McCree. So Guido doing a great job there. It's probably feeling a lot of pressure right now. I have to commend them on how well they're playing. Guido's kind of the go-to counter for a very strong pharmacy, and that can be a lot of work and a lot of pressure as well. So I think Guido's doing a fantastic job, even if they do happen to lose again to that. Also, Mr. Schmello Dude on that Ashe also doing a good job of pressuring down that pharmacy as well and taking 2 out there as we saw it. So despite how good Orbline is on Pharah, with 2 counters on the enemy team, they may have to consider running something else. But it looks like they'll try it for a fight or 2 more. But I'd say if it doesn't work for 1 more fight, they might want to consider a switch. Big res there on the side of Eastern Illinois University, bringing back up Teppel. No pushback on the side of Grace Harbor. That's a bit of a mistake there. You want to try to catch Mercies out when they're rezzing so far up there. They must have just not noticed, or somebody must have not called it out, but that's a big res there. Ayatsuru, however, taking out the Zarya on the Eastern Illinois University side as well, and Ghost has been rezzed, and they're pushing and getting a lot of space with those mines on the side of Ghost. And Sigma ult coming down to take down the Mercy. We're seeing 3 picks on the side of Eastern Illinois University with the use of Bob and High Noon. Ash McCree, a formidable kind of duo to play against, especially their ultimates as well are very good zoning ultimates, meaning they get the enemy team off the point even if they might not get all of them down. We're seeing Ghost coming in, trying to get some damage, some ult percentage here, and doing a pretty decent job, but again, they've got a lot of CC on their side as well. Again, they've got 1:35 to push it about less than 10 meters, I think, so they're probably feeling pretty confident here. However, they don't want to get too confident. We're seeing Nano going down on Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola not getting anybody with it just yet. Baptiste ult on the side of Eastern Illinois University, which amplifies damage and healing, so a solid use of that. Crunchy Leaf managing to res Orbline, who's probably sitting on a barrage at this point because I haven't seen them use it in a while, and knowing them, they're a great rock from Pepsi Cola there. But there's that barrage from Orbline taken out. Yeah, there it is, right? Orbline taken out 4, and sometimes that's all you need is a cheeky barrage, just as I said it. I was like, oh, I haven't heard that voice line in a while. I wonder if it's going to be coming soon. And Orbline said, just wait a second, I got you. I have to say that was a decent hold from Eastern Illinois University, but you know, just look at this barrage. Sorry, that's all you need to see to kind of explain. Taking out 3 just like that. I mean, textbook. Oh, heyo! And we're watching basketball now. Would you like to take over, Tony?
For sure. Here's the perfect shot of the fadeaway. You just need to turn around, and that's our perfect textbook fadeaway shot.
Touchdown, right? Touchdown? No.
Yeah,
you can clearly see I only watch esports. Oh, okay, home run. Alright, well, we're seeing that Pharmacy combo with Ayatsuru back on the Junkrat, Crunchy Leaf on that Mercy. And I do want to say, didn't speak a lot about the Ana on the Grace Harbor, but very good anti-nades, very good sleeps. Seeing Pharmacy on both sides. Honestly, Pharmacy is not one you see often here. You know, taking out both healers and saying, hey, don't forget about me, I can play Pharmacy as well. You know, is a fantastic Pharah as well. We've seen it, we saw it especially on Kings Row. So now Grace Harbor going to allow the point to go to Eastern Illinois University. They need to just kind of group up, make sure they don't get trickled or staggered here as well. So we're going to see a regroup from Grace Harbor. Well done. I have to say, good job from Guido and their Mercy as well, the side at Eastern Illinois University. We're probably going to see a few aerial battles there. Which Mercy will reign supreme will kind of be probably the name of the game for this last control map. Ayatsuru might want to focus their energy on the people on the ground, quickly realizing they're playing Junkrat. So we're seeing those nades starting to go down at the enemy team rather than the Pharmacy. We're going to be seeing a lot of, I think, our aerial Pharmacy fights here. As we can see right now, Orb Lion taking out Guido, just a little bit too late though. Guido taking out a few before that happens. So we're seeing kind of a messy fight here from Grace Harbor, not really able to group up and push in together. We're seeing Shattered from Apple, I think is their name. I haven't been able to see the full list as of right now, but Eastern Illinois holding on to the point. Ghost dropping down bombs on the point, not taking anybody out, but taking some space. We're seeing Brig ult on the side of Eastern Illinois. Ghost taking out Zarya with those bombs finally. Orb Line, though, however, will most likely take out Brutus here on the Mercy. So we're seeing some picks on the side of Grace Harbor. Great use of ults there, especially from Ghost. Dropping those bombs on the point just make it almost impossible for Eastern Illinois to take the space that they need. They're very high damage little orbs that stay on the point until they're destroyed or until they fade away. So I'd say that was some great play from Ghost. Came in and just took the space that they needed with those bombs. Orb Lion here sitting on a barrage, and we know just how dangerous Orb can be with those barrages, so we'll see what their plan is there. Ayatsuru now on the McCree, going to kind of handle that Pharmacy a little bit, which they couldn't do with Junkrat before, so I think that's a great switch there. Orb Lion taking out Mr. Schmello Dude on the side of Grace Harbor. We're seeing a barrage on the side of Eastern Illinois. Crunchy Leaf, huge res on Zan there. Needing that extra healing output there. So great res onto their Ana there. We're seeing Brav coming out on the side of Eastern Illinois, getting a few, but not enough damage coming out to take out anybody. And Eastern Illinois most likely going to be giving up the point here, which they're probably not very happy about, considering they just used Zarya ult. Zarya ult being notoriously a low or a long ult to build. It takes a while to build up, unless you're kind of like really good at Zarya, which I'm sure, I'm sure they are, but it can still take quite a long time to build, especially if you're not getting a lot of charge. So they're going to be kind of frustrated with that. They just used a pretty big ult and weren't able to capitalize on it. And they lost, and they didn't gain the point back. So that's something they'll be lamenting. We're seeing both at about 70%. So this could very still go to Eastern Illinois University. We're seeing High Noon going out on the side of Eastern Illinois, not getting anybody with that, and they're slowly pushing onto point. We're seeing Teppel and that Reinhardt kind of taking the long route, and a huge nade there. I want to point out from Zan there, helping to take out Brig. Oh, Ayatsuru, that was brutal. Very good awareness there from Ayatsuru, hearing that Genji coming behind, using stun and right click, taking him out. And the High Noon to secure the win. A great hold there from Pepsi Cola and the Great Harbors College Chokers there. A few shoutouts, I think, there to Ayatsuru, as we just saw. Fantastic McCree play. McCree is a great hero to play against a hero like Genji. It's a great hero to play as a kind of defense to keep healers alive. Genji likes to dive their healers. And now we're seeing Orb going back to their main game of basketball. I do believe. I don't think that's skins though. He said not only can not only can I dunk on this team, but I can also dunk on this basketball. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to basketball.
Accurate. That's
but I come from Miami. We have
that's what Michael Jordan said, actually.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Michael Jordan said those exact words. Actually, he was talking about what I said. Michael Jordan wishes he knew as much about Overwatch, okay? Anyways, we've got Genji over on the side of Eastern Illinois University. 2 picks on the side of Grays Harbor right away. Crunchy Leaf, bringing it back. Zan City's here. So we've got... This is a very... Okay, so I know that I like to... Oh... Genji, Junkrat taking each other out on Eastern Illinois University, Grays Harbor College, though. Grays Harbor College have the more the picks, so the fight goes to them. Pepsi Cola on fire, not surprising, a great signal, and Ghost is just vibing. He's just here to have a good time. This is honestly a pretty good map for a ball. Just for this reason alone, as you can see right now, that's all you need to do, and it looks like that's all they're gonna do is just twirl around the point. It'd be really annoying. So right now, Eastern Illinois University needs to consider running some kind of crowd control so that they can stop Ghost from just doing what he's doing right now. Because, I mean, while they're not taking anybody out, Ghost is basically single-handedly holding the point right now. Until that McCree showed exactly why they need a McCree. McCree, a pretty good counter to ball and to stop those ball shenanigans. He's got a stun. So a very good switch there. I don't know if they switched or if they had McCree from the beginning, but Mr. Schmello dude saying that's enough. We're going to take this point back now. But Grays Harbor College did get 39% on the point there, so they're going to be pretty happy with that. No ult used either. We're seeing Winston on the side of Eastern Illinois as well. A pretty decent pick here because they're not running that pharmacy. Hopefully they'll help them. Oh, they were just kidding. Yes, they are. It's getting late, as you can tell. Orbline coming out with another barrage. 2 going down to that. Crunchy Leaf getting the res on Ayaturu, and Orbline taking out BAP as well. We're seeing Pepsi Cola pull out the Sigma ult to kind of lift everybody up. Ghost. Grace Harbor College did end up getting the point. We did see quite a few ults coming out from them, so they're not going to have a lot to help them hold on to the point when Eastern Illinois University comes in with their ults of their own. I'm not sure if that beat was necessary. I think they might have maybe wanted to hold on to that beat for when I think Guido is on Genji right now and will most likely be building up an ult pretty soon. So they might have wanted to keep that ult for that. But they do. There it is. A beat would have been lovely there, wouldn't have it? Sand City's probably cursing themselves there for having used that. But sometimes you think you might need an ult when you don't. It happens to all of us. But as stated before, a beat would have been great. Beat being a defensive ult, so something that a Lucio or a Zenyatta would use to counteract an ult like Guido's right there. Great play from Eastern Illinois University there, being patient, just waiting and supporting their Genji, and using only one ult to get, or I believe only one ult to get that point. So we're looking at 81 to 53% for Eastern Illinois University. Eastern Illinois University knows that they need to win here, or they lose. So they need to win this map. They're going to be holding on. They're playing quite offensively here with the Winston diving onto the Mercy, probably wanting to take out half of that pharmacy combo. But we're seeing dive on the side of Eastern Illinois University, which I think is not a bad idea. Genji probably going to go down here to Ayatsu, who's also getting dove. I have to commend their Winston for diving the Genji very well, and we can see that they're doing a good job because he seems to kind of have that primal every 20 seconds, it seems so. Eastern Illinois coming on to 90%, so they're going to be pretty happy with that. Orbline taking out Mr. Schmello dude, but going down themselves. Crunchy Leaf, huge res on Zam Cities, and huge Valk as well. Crunchy Leaf, a great Mercy. Very aggressive with their reses, but not in an irresponsible way. We're seeing Beat coming out on the side of Grays Harbor as well. They're desperate right now. Eastern Illinois is at 99%, so they'll use everything they need to keep hold of the point and switch it back their way. Ghost taking out Lucio as well, but we're seeing Genji coming out with that blade, and they don't have Beat. Again, Guido taking out 2, Ayaturu taking him out with the tire. We're seeing Soldier on the side of Eastern Illinois University. Ghost and Ayaturu cleaning up the point with the help of Orbline on that Pharah. and Zan Cities, finally taking out Temple. A great ult use from Grays Harbor College there, and great follow-up from Ayatsuru on Genji's ult. So right there, they could have lost the point. If Genji had gotten maybe 1 or 2 more picks with that ultimate, they could have maybe lost the point there. So great follow-up there and great counterplay from the side of Grays Harbor College. We're seeing Eastern Illinois University coming out, but Grays Harbor getting 2 picks right off the bat. 2 picks on the side of Eastern Illinois as well. Guido, great Genji player, coming in and getting Crunchy Leaf down as well with the help of the Winston. And Eastern Illinois University showing us some great dive play right here, which I'll go into in just a moment, but it looks like they'll be losing the point in just a moment. Ghost, a last-ditch effort, trying to keep hold of that point. Pepsi Cola going for the touch, but not able to touch there. So Eastern Illinois University showing us a very kind of textbook, very well-executed dive there. They saw that Mercy going in for the res. A res at that stage would have been kind of catastrophic. So they most likely communicated that, and we saw Winston and Genji diving onto that Mercy and getting them down before they could even get the res. And that's the beauty of dive, is you do it together. If the Winston had dove alone, it's not enough damage on its own to kind of stop a res like that or to take out a Mercy fast enough like that. That's where the beauty of communicating a dive, going, hey, I'm going on their Mercy, she's resing, left side of point, coming in with your Genji at the same time, it's too much damage, and that's kind of how dive can be used really effectively here against what they're running. They're doing a great job at diving the enemy Mercy. Pepsi Cola saying no thank you, going out early on. I don't know if that was an accident or what, but they're going in 5v6. That's not a great way to start the fight. I'd love to know what happened there. Pepsi Cola making a switch off of Roadhog back onto that Sigma, which seems to be working pretty decently for them. Ghost going down as well in the same way. Tanks go down together, I guess they said. And Ayatsuru, they're clearly not in a space to go in, so they're probably just going to give Eastern Illinois the point at this point, and wait until they can regroup with all their tanks before going back in. Once again, we're seeing them dive really well, and right now they're showing us dive with a Pharah. Pharah can absolutely be used with dive. She's a very mobile character. Dive is really just a grouping of mobile characters, such as Winston, D.Va, and Genji, or Pharah in this case. Anything that can kind of move with the tanks and help finish off targets. So we're seeing that on the side of Eastern Illinois there, with a lot of that splash damage on the side of Junkrat and Pharah. Crunchleaf already Valking, must be getting a lot of damage boosting, a lot of healing done. We're seeing Sand City's going down immediately after getting rezzed again. Pepsi Cola getting booped around by that Winston, Primaling Winston. So we're seeing ults on both sides, and there Pepsi Cola goes once again. Something about these tanks, they just can't seem to stay on the map. Eastern Illinois already at 53%, so it's not looking great for Grays Harbor. I'm not really sure what's going on here. They just can't seem to get settled, can't seem to get a pick, and can't seem to pull it together. We're seeing a D.Va bomb on the side of Eastern Illinois, not getting anybody but in the mech back. And we're hearing hearing tire on the side of Eastern Illinois. That may seem like a small tire, but getting a pick on a healer with a tire is more than you can ask for. A tire, also one of those ults that you don't always land, so great ult there on the side of Eastern Illinois. We're seeing Barrage on the side of Grays Harbor. We'll see if they'll be able to get anything with that. Ayatsuru taking out Mr. Schmello Dude on Eastern Illinois. Ghost taking out D.Va as well, and we're seeing Barrage from both sides. Orbline taking out taking out Guido on that Barrage, and we're seeing a 99-0 Eastern Illinois 99. Grays Harbor 0, finally able to take the point, but they're going to have to play a perfect game from now on. Eastern Illinois University only needs to win one fight, actually. If they don't, if Grays Harbor College loses a fight here and they're not able to contest the point in time, they will lose. So this is as close as it gets, basically, to a close game. Eastern Illinois here might play either the long game or they'll aggress very, very quickly, and we're seeing them being very aggressive here. Pepsi Cola going down immediately. Orb Line taking out the Mercy on the enemy team, it's looking pretty even right now. Crunchy Leaf, big res on Pepsi Cola there. They've got some of their tank line back up. Orbline dealing very well with that diving Diva over here, taking out Baby Diva as well. So Grace Harbor College doing a fantastic job at dealing with a very aggressive Eastern Illinois University dive. I was kind of worried when Pepsi Cola went down, I'm not going to lie, but Crunchy Leaf is really showing very great Mercy play there by getting reses that not a lot of Mercies would, and probably communicating that to their team very well to make sure that they keep her safe while she does it. We're seeing a bomb on the side of Eastern Illinois University taking out two. That is a huge bomb. As we've stated, bombs are hard to land, and landing so many double bombs is really, really impressive. That's going to be very bad for Grace Harbor College. They're going to really have to start considering going heroes that are just going to get to the point quickly, like Lucio and Tracer. We're seeing Guido getting a few picks, including Orb Lion and Crunchy Leaf. Great Pharah play there from Guido. And great, I mean, it's not looking great. I'm not going to lie. Grace Harbor College really just has to touch the point there. They have less than a second to do so. It looks like Lucio might, but other than that, the map goes over to Eastern Illinois University with my MVP for that last round going to Guido on that Pharah, as well as Brutus on that Mercy. And we've got Orbline as well. I mean, that was really just a Pharah show off. Not to talk down to any of the other team. Both teams played amazing, but we just saw some fantastic Pharah play on both teams there. Fantastic Mercy play on both teams as well.